Well, good morning. Good to see everyone here. Thanks so much for joining us. It's Monday morning and we're here for the Sonder Social May weekly setup. It's May 9th. So hard to believe we're all here this morning. And it's the beginning of May. And so I'm Jennifer Krippner and I'm dialing in from Minnesota. And I'm here this morning. It's a little gray and stormy. We actually are having a severe thunderstorm warning. So it could be a little rumbly, it could be a little bit loud. So I have the wonderful Jennifer Ogilvy with me. You have Team Jennifer. So thanks for being here with me, Jennifer. She'll be with you on the chat. She also is going to be running the slides this morning instead of me. And just in case my internet goes down, it went down this morning when we were practicing. So she's my backup in case things happen. So I'm safe. I'm in the lower level of my house and everything's good. So just in case you hear some background noise, we're thankful for the rain, but it could be just a little bit rocky here in the beginning of the start. So I love seeing all the comments about what people are looking forward to this month. There's a lot of hope. There's a lot of joy. There's a lot of positive emotions flowing. So love hearing where everybody's dialing in from as well. We have some new people joining us. So we're going to have a really great time this morning getting set up for this week. I love that you're carving out some time for you to think about how, one, not only you can help be productive by setting up this weekly planner for this new week, but also how can we be reflective and how can we use our Silk and Sonder journal to just be reflective of each day and how we might support our self-care along this new week. And that's the beauty of Silk and Sonder, is that it's a new, fresh week. What we set up last week, we may learn from, and we might try something new. And we're going to learn from all of you. And in the chat, we're hoping that you can share what's working for you in using your Silk and Sonder journal, and different ways that we're going to learn how to repurpose sections that maybe don't fit with your week. And so we're just super excited. And so again, everybody that's joining us today will automatically be put in the self-care gift raffle. And then in the app, so we have our Sonder Club in the app, and we'd love for you to share examples so we can actually see what you're using and how you're doing your setup today. So if you have some coffee, I have some tea this morning. Hope you're in a comfortable spot. You can join in and have fun today. So we'll go to the next slide. Just to say that our theme this month is empowerment. And I just love this theme. I love the journal this month, the colors, the theme, feeling empowered, feeling like we can accomplish and do anything we set our minds to. And it doesn't have to be big things. It can be small things. It can be just simply getting out of bed this morning, feeling empowered to spend an hour together learning and supporting one another on learning new things about how we can support our self-care habits. So with that, let's get started and look at what our agenda is going to be. We're going to save our empowerment activity towards the end of our time together today. So we're going to dive right into our weekly setup, and then we'll close together at the end of the hour. So with that, let's look at our weekly planner. So if everybody can turn to page, let's see what page it is this month, or this week, I should say. We are looking at page 40. So if you turn to page 40, and we're going to start at the top half of that page. And if you go to the next slide, Jennifer, we're going to really focus on these top areas: the weekly to-dos, the 3 major goals, and then this week I want to feel. So we're going to start there, and then we're going to pause and actually give you some time and space to work on filling those out. And then we'll finish the bottom half of that activity after we do the top half. So the next slide gives us some examples. And here I love, I have a couple of examples, but 2 pages of examples. But on the left-hand side, you can see the use of some stickers. This week, I want to feel available and creative. Underneath some of the goals, so they do 1, 2, and 3. They actually want to do 3 goals as it says, but you don't have to do that. And on the weekly to-dos, they just left it blank, and that's okay. This is your journal. There's no judgment. It's absolutely how you want to use it. On the right-hand side, this week, I want to feel capable of anything. So empowering yourself to really feel like, whatever you want to do, however you want to be. The weekly to-dos, I really love the categories that this person used. My weekly to-dos, what do I need? What do I want? And what do I wish? Thinking about those wishes and really thinking about this person wishes to spend the day of being creative, and how we, just wish to have that time. And then they use the right hand, the goal section, to really have maybe some affirmations or quotes, or this one has some scripture, things that really are important to them. And so then we'll go on to the next page and give a couple more examples. This weekly to do on the left-hand side, they split it down the middle. I love that, the wants and needs again, and some beautiful numbering and lettering. And on the right-hand side, again, I just really loved the handwriting and some different examples of ways they use that. And so just some really fun ideas and fun ways to do that. And so I'm going to pause my video and I'm going to play a song, and feel free to share in the chat different ways that you've used this, different ideas that maybe just sparked for you. And then take this time right now. I'm going to play one song, fill it out, and then share in the chat perhaps 1 or 2 things that came up for you that you're going to do this week. Goals or wants or needs or wishes, or how you may want to feel this week. And then we'll come back and share in the chat. And so I'll see you back here in just a few minutes as you listen to this song. All right, welcome back. Thanks for sharing in the chat. I hope you had some good time starting to think about the week and things of that you want to um, draw out or write out or use some stickers. I love I think it was Jennifer that maybe said she saves that to-do area for her to-da list and things that maybe she accomplished that week. So maybe just a reflect back portion. So from to-do to ta-da, and I like the positive spin on that. That's really cool. Somebody mentioned that they carry tasks over from week to week, and I think that's just perfectly a really good thing to do. I do the same thing. I maybe cross off maybe one or two, but there's always several things that I don't get done the previous week that I continue to move over and just keep them on. And I think, you know what, we're all busy and we all have a lot of things going on. And I think, you know, that's just perfectly okay to keep those things on our list and keep them in front of us. Somebody said that they use goals, something for me, something for my house, and something for my boys. And I like that as well, kind of thinking about that in three different sections or categories. And I love that you put yourself on there. And so often we forget about ourselves, and it's so important, and remind ourselves that self-care is important and that we do matter and we do need to take care of ourselves. So that's beautiful. And so we're going to move on to the bottom portion of that page and really think about our habits and our activities. And I know a lot of people think about, well, what's different than the habit tracker, right? Back in the monthly setup when we look at that. But I love to think about that. This habit and activities are things that, you know, maybe pertain to just this week, or perhaps they are things that are on your monthly habit tracker that you want to put on your weekly, maybe it's a new habit that you want to track every single day in your weekly spread as well, because you're building a new habit. And perhaps it's helpful to see it in both places to continue to build that habit. And so there's some examples here. I love the coloring on the left-hand side. They're different ones. And I love the fact that they put the daily ritual and the journal prompt on here, because I think it's really good to use this daily habit tracker. I use this as well. Reminder that I need to go out to the app and listen to Meha's daily ritual, because it is such a brief, you know, 5-6 minute daily ritual that really helps me get into that mindset of that self-care for me. So having this on my weekly planner spread and checking it off, I love doing a check mark, is really helpful. So on the top right hand side, I really love the fact that there are things that this person wants to do, but there's also something on here that they want to discontinue or not do. So the no DoorDash, they're actually marking when they don't do something, so, or a habit that they want to discontinue or not do as much. So on Monday, they did not order from DoorDash. So that is a habit that they're trying to not do. So they're not always things that we want to do or add to our daily habit, but things that maybe we want to stop doing. So I think that's important to think about adding to your list. And then the bottom one, I think, is an interesting concept. It's the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 concept. So the top one here is walking outside. So that's something I want to do 5 times this week. My evening ritual, I want to do 4 times this week. Yoga, I want to do 3 times this week. Phone a friend, I want to phone a friend 2 times this week. And I want to send something via the snail mail 1 time this week. So breaking it down, not something I have to do every single day, that gets overwhelming, but maybe 5 times or 4 times or 3 times. It's the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And also remember, you don't have to fill out every line. On mine, I think I have 3 things on my habit or activity tracker. My weeks can be busy. I travel for work, and sometimes there's 3 habits. You don't have to fill out every line. You don't have to do it every single day of the week. And it's all up to you on how you want to do it. And you can do it different every single week. And that's the beauty of it. So I have three things. One is I like to pause before I do my prayer. I want to focus on moving, not exercising. I don't like that word. So movement, and then connections. I like to have like three intentional connections with people, whether it's via Zoom, phone, or in person. And so those are my three things that I like to track specifically this week. So I don't fill out every single line. I don't put lines through them. I just leave them blank, and I'm perfectly okay with that. And then the daily ritual as well. So that is the habit and activity. I'm going to give you one more song, and I'm going to let you take some time to fill this out and think about how you can get creative with it. And remember, this is just for you. So I'm anxious to see and hear in the chat how you guys are all using it, or what came up for you, and how you can support each other in creating some new and fun ideas. So it might be a little thunder right now because it just turned really black. So hopefully this song will power through for you. So here we go. I love how this group is so supportive of one another and helping ideas. I came up with a couple comments that I'd like to call out. I love the 10-minute tidy 5 times a week. That is so cool. What a great thing to put on your habit or activity tracker. The blinds and curtains open in the morning. That is a great idea. Let the light in, even if it's not sunlight. Just let the daylight in, keeping that open, and just bringing that, even maybe some fresh air in. Deleting 50 old emails a day 4 times a week. What a great use of time to do that as well. and continuing your reading practice. Maya, I think you said that 10 minutes of reading 5 times a week, just getting back in the habit of spending some time reading. That's great. And I think somebody said they wanted to do be a little bit more productive and less scrolling. So maybe less scrolling would be a good habit to do. I think we all, I think I know for myself, I spend some time scrolling when I could be a little bit more productive in doing some things like movement. So maybe that's something next week I could add to mine, is less scrolling, so that I could get out and do more movement than I am. So love that. So Jennifer, maybe we could just go to the next slide, and we could turn our planner over to page 41. And this is the meal plan page, and I've got some fun ideas for us to think about. So we'll go to the next slide and have some examples here. So there's so many things that I've seen people use this meal plan page for, and we're going to focus now just on the meal plan page. So we'll split this page in two. So you could use it as it's intended. You could jot down the actual food you consume, so kind of as a tracker for what you ate, or you could use it as a meal planner. So you're going to plan what you're going to eat and kind of use it maybe even as a grocery list for things that you need to plan for the week ahead. Some people really like to use it as daily affirmations. So each day they write in what their daily affirmations are, or maybe you could jot down the daily affirmations from the Sonder Club app. You could use it for quotes. Some people like to track playlists or movies or ideas of things that they want to watch upcoming. This person on the right-hand side decided to write down their decluttering plan. Like, so each day would be a room or an item that they want to declutter in their house, spring cleaning perhaps. Somebody wanted to write down what they're going to wear and plan out for the week so that they didn't have to think about it come Monday morning or Tuesday morning. Other people, go back one more slide. Nope, back. Sorry. There you go. National day of the week, like, is it ice cream day, or is it dog day, or is it administrative day, things like that, so that they can be prepared to celebrate. And then perhaps they have a busy month of birthdays and anniversaries and things like that. They could write down whose it is and what do they need to buy, or do they have parties to go to, and kind of keep track of it that way as a separate, maybe it's a special week, but they have lots of things happening. So lots of ideas there. Now we can go to the next slide and share some examples. On the left-hand side, that's affirmations. So that's just where they write down their affirmations. The middle one is really where they just wrote down their food intake and kind of tracked their meal. I really like to use it as that. I like to look, like, at the end of the day, what did I eat? What did I drink? How much did I consume? Was it healthy? Was it not healthy? And I can look back and see, perhaps even with my mood tracker, were there things that I ate today that perhaps triggered how I was feeling, things like that. So I do use it as a meal planner. Then on the right, I love this person uses the GLAD acronym. So they kind of use stickers and washi tape to take out the meal planner, and they just use it as GLAD. If I am reading it right, so it's grateful. So what am I grateful for? What have I learned? So that's the L. What have I achieved? And then delighted or delightful. So I don't know, Jennifer, if you want to type that in there, if anybody's heard of the GLAD acronym. So grateful, learned, achieved, and delightful. So just a different way, again, for tracking and reflecting on your week and how things have gone for you. And so with that, I am going to allow you for some space and time to fill out or think about how you might want to take on the meal tracker for the week. And I'm going to play a quick song, and we'll see you back here in just a short minute here too here. some really good conversation about tracking food and planning food and kind of correlating our food to how we're feeling, and some really good, maybe making notes about how do we feel when we eat a certain thing, or even I love the idea of planning our leftovers and um, even our grocery lists. So thanks for sharing those ideas and loving all of that. So let's move on to the right side of this page. I think there's a lot of creativity that can happen with our mind body health plan or shopping list, and I'm loving. So those are really good reflections, things that we can do. We can jot down our exercise, or in my that vocabulary, our movement plan or our yoga plan. We can use it for our daily affirmations. Again, another spot where we can write those down on the upper right-hand side. Also, we can use it for ideas of how we want to feel about our mind body health. So not just what are we doing, but how are we feeling about it? Am I feeling positive? Am I feeling good? Am I feeling like, oh, I need to kind of rethink where I'm at with that? Some people have used that section to really kind of create their own little mini bingo for the week, and then check those off. How are we feeling? Can we really focus on joy or gratitude or hope or inspiration? Can we use some of those words to really turn that week into a focus on positive emotions? Could we make that a list of people that we want to connect with that week, and check those off? Things that you are loving this week. Maybe there's certain movies on your list, certain shows that you're wanting to watch, things like that. Those are different things. Instead of shopping lists, maybe it's a movie list, or maybe, something's coming out in the theaters that we're able to get back to. So Jennifer, maybe the next slide, we can show a couple of examples. On the left-hand side, it's actually what it is. It's your exercise list, it's your shopping list, and this person's just loving spring. The middle one, I love this, where the pens are at with the meal plan. It's their Instagram plan. So they're wanting to use Instagram more. So they're actually going to plan out what their posts could be. On the right-hand side, the mind body health, they drew a line down the middle, and on the right-hand side are some options, and they get to choose each day from the right-hand side and transfer it over to the left. So it's kind of a fun way to choose what they want to do. And then there's 3 different things that they want to research. So instead of a shopping list, it's their researching plan. And then on the bottom, they want to learn more how to use Instagram better. So I think that that's a pretty cool, really neat thing there. And then on the right-hand side, I think this is super creative. So under Mind Body Health, it's Meatless Monday, it's TV-free Tuesday, it's Walking Wednesday, and so on. So that's pretty cool. And then under shopping list, it looks like those are 6 different areas in their home that either they want to focus on, cleaning or decluttering, or just working on those spaces. And then they're loving myself by saying no. And how true is that? How much time do we really reflect on providing that space and boundary for ourselves? So love these examples, and I'm going to give you a little bit of time and space to share in the chat how you're using these areas, and giving you a few minutes to actually fill it out. And so I will be back here after this short song. So fun. I'm loving these ideas. I'm going to steal some of them. So, somebody said, track how I got moving that week, packing list for a trip. So, have an awesome trip. Be safe. I love the packing list idea. I think that's great for my travels. I think that's a great idea. Um, Cleaning list, another great idea. Doctor's appointments, for those of you that do that, that's a great place to track that. And money matters. So shifting your shopping list maybe to money matters and tracking where your bills are due for the week, keeping on top of that. Love ideas. So those are great. Thanks for sharing. And that's exciting. So now let's turn the page to the weekly spread. And think about what's happening this coming week. I know we're on Monday, May 9th, and let's turn the slide to the next page as well. And we're going to look at different ways that we can format or not format, and how we may plan ahead or how we may reflect back on the day. So many different options, right? At how we want to start this new week. It may look different than the way you formatted it last week, which is super fun. That's why we love Silk and Sonder, is that you don't have each week can look different from the last week, and it could look different next week. So that's why we love showing up each week at these weekly setups. So you can find what works for you. On the left-hand side here, you can see they outlined each day in marker. At the top, they wrote down their movement or their exercise, on how they're going to spend each day in the one thing box. They track their weather, and then they just write down kind of what their schedule is for the day, and they count their steps at the end of the night. So that's how they set that up. The next person decides to kind of block off in different chunks of their schedule. They like to write the weather down. And then at the bottom, they really track their health. So they go through their calories, their exercise, their, are they standing? Are they doing steps, their goals, their weights? And so they're really specific about, allocating certain space to each day. I love what they're doing on the right as well. So they're writing down, so I believe it's each of the affirmations there on the right hand side, from sorry, I'm reading it. Yeah, the affirmations from the app, I believe. So they're using that scratch pad space. They're really allocating it out for each day. So I think that's pretty cool too. I always like to transfer from the app onto the planner, affirming each affirmation that's in there. So that's pretty neat. Oh, I love somebody said that they write down from the daily rituals in there too. So this next page, sorry, my screen's a little bit small today. I like how they're using kind of the different sections here is really, really cool. They write their outfits, things that they need to do, kind of a reflection. How was your day? They're asking themselves a question and they can kind of reflect at the end of the day. How was your day? They actually put their spending in there and they were doing the weather again. On the right-hand side, they're using blocks again of different colors, their daily steps, hours that they slept, affirmations, their work day, their self-care day, their top 3 things. So lots of different fun, different ways that they're doing. I think I have maybe one more page, maybe not. Yep, one more spread. And I always like to show this one as well, because this is more of a reflective practice, more of a journaling practice than a schedule practice. And this person really writes 3 things that I appreciate about myself, or 5 things that I really am proud of, or 5 things that I'm grateful for. What made me laugh today? So using some more journal prompts and reflective practice for their weekly spread than perhaps some of the previous examples of more productivity. So completely up to you on how you'd like to use these pages, and maybe it's a mix. Maybe this week you want to be more reflective, next week you want to be more productive. Completely up to you on how you'd like to practice and use that. So maybe Jennifer, we can go back and forth as people are taking time to fill out their weekly planner spread. I'm going to play a song and give you some time to do that. Just share in the chat if you want to see a previous page example, but I'm going to play a song. It's my favorite song. I think I play in every single one, but enjoy this next song and the time, and share how perhaps you use this. Is it more productive? Is it more reflective? Is it combination? And then we'll see you back here in a few minutes. right. Such amazing and great ideas. Thank you for sharing, and so many different ways that people use this section. And I see some openness to really thinking about changing and seeing different ways that you can practice and change it up from week to week, and how you may use a notes page to really help use your weekly planner pages. So thanks for sharing and using this way to really help you support your self-care and daily practice. So I love that. So thanks for sharing. Thanks for being part of this. I'd love to see pictures of this on Sonder Social as your week goes on to see how you actually set this up. So appreciate you sharing and being part of this group today. We're going to end our time together with a empowerment activity. So I'd like you all to turn to a notes page or just a blank piece of paper if you don't want to use one of your notes pages. And we're going to just transition now into thinking about somebody who inspires you, who perhaps has had an influential interaction with you. It could be way in the past, perhaps, or it could be somebody recently. And I'd like you to just spend a few minutes with me while I'll share a song with you, who I'd like you to write a note to them, an appreciation note to them, and let them know how they have impacted you and how their impact and inspiration has empowered you. What have that interaction with them, how has that empowered you? What has it empowered you to do or be? Now, that person could be a parent, a spouse, a partner, a child, a friend, a coworker, a teacher, a leader, a manager. It could be a stranger, somebody that maybe just complimented you recently, that inspired you or empowered you to go and do something the next day differently than you would have. It doesn't have to be a big thing. It could be a small thing. It could be, the letter that I wrote is to my daughter. She's 28 and she empowers me to get outside of my comfort zone. And so she is an adventurer. She lives life to the fullest, and she just always inspires me to get outside my comfort zone. And that has empowered me to do things and take risks and experience life in a way that I don't think I would have experienced. And so my letter was to her, and how she has completely empowered me to see things differently and do things differently. And it could be a simple thing like taking a walk with her around our cul-de-sac and going to the park and sliding down the kids slide, and having that freedom to feel like I could be a kid again, even though I'm in my 50s, like, right, to slide down the slide and just feel that freedom of, like, it's just fun, right? We don't have to be 10 to slide down a slide, right? So it's empowering to feel free. And in that moment, it was a little thing, but I think back on it and we took pictures and selfies. And in that moment, it was a fun, memorable moment. And I felt empowered to be outside my comfort zone. So let's take a moment. Let's write down in a note card on a notes page if you want to just do a draft. For right now, I'm going to share a song. We're going to come back. And if you just want to share in the chat, either how you were empowered, who it was that inspired you to feel empowered, and then we'll share with each other. And I'm going to share this song and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. I sure hope everybody had a chance to, one, just identify somebody who really helped them be inspired and empowered. And there's a lot of science around actually taking time to write down a note to somebody. Even just writing it down and thinking through that can really help increase your happiness and decrease your depressive symptoms. It actually, by writing one letter, can last up to a full month in helping you yourself. And then by delivering that letter, mailing it, or calling that person and reading out loud really boosts that level of happiness and decreasing your depressive symptoms by a full month. There's an author called, a psychologist called Martin Seligman, and he wrote a book called Flourish. And so much research and study around writing a note of appreciation to somebody can really boost our own happiness. So I hope that you really take time to write this and finish writing this and mailing it off to that person. It can really be an act of empowerment for yourself. Even just that one letter can make a big impact. And so thank you for sharing that and for doing this activity with us today. And so I'll move on to the next slide as we wrap up. Here's my playlist in case you want to see a few of the songs that we played today. You can take a picture of that, snap a few pictures and see. The psychologist was Martin Seligman, Seligman. He's got a great book called Flourish. I'll type that in the next moment or two here. And then the next slide, Jennifer, is so just really, again, thank you for joining us today. This is the Sonder Club app. If you haven't joined the Sonder Club, on the bottom left side is the QR code. You just put your phone up to that, take the QR code, download the app. We'd love to have you. The middle one is the survey. We'd love to hear back from you if you like the weekly setup, things that you'd like to be added or changed. You'll also get an email with a link to take the survey. We'd appreciate your feedback there. And then this Sonder Social weekly setup was recorded, and it will be on YouTube in a few days, so you can re-watch it in case you missed anything. And there's other recordings there that you can watch as well. However, I just want to note that the chat will not be available. It will just be the recording of me reviewing the slides with you. So those are 3 QR codes and links. I think Jennifer will put those in the chat as well as we conclude our time. But I'm really appreciative of all of you being here today, taking the time out really for what matters most to you, protecting this time for you. Self-care is so important. We're so excited that you're part of our Sonder fam. And we look forward to seeing you in the Sonder Club, seeing pictures of what you accomplished this morning with us. And again, we're so happy that you're with us, and we hope to see you on another Sonder social with us. And with that, I'm going to leave you with a song. We'll be here with you in the chat through this song, and then we'll see you on another event. And again, thanks Jennifer Ogilvie for being my backup, and just in case my internet went out, thankfully it didn't get too severe. And I really wish everybody an amazing week ahead, and so fun to be with you all. We'll see you soon. I don't know why you think that you could hold me when you couldn't get by yourself. And I don't know who would ever want to tell the seam of someone's dream. Baby, it's fine. You said that we should just be friends. Well, I came up with that line, and I'm sure that it's for the best. If you ever change your mind, don't hold your breath. Look, you may not believe
beautiful day. It's my turn to fly. So girls get in line, cause I'm easy, no playing this guy like a fool. Now I'm alright. Might have had me kids before, but not tonight. And you may not believe that, baby, I'm relieved. This fire inside, yeah, but it's too bright. I don't wanna say so long. I just wanna say goodbye. It's a beautiful day. I can't stop myself from smiling. If I take you, then I'm buying. And I know there's no denying. It's a beautiful day. The sun is up and the music's playing. And even if it started raining, you won't hear this boy complaining. Cause I'm glad that you're the one who got away. Cause if you ever think I'll take up my time with thinking of a breakup, then you've got another thing coming your way. Cause it's a beautiful day. Beautiful day. Oh, baby, any day that you're gone away. It's a beautiful